What is going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. That's right. Going live again. Been having some time to do so I wanted to jump on here. I also missed Tag Team Thursday this Thursday because I just booked a lot of different shows and I was trying to balance life and make sure that I'm able to actually have family time at the same time. So had to move some things around. While I did miss out on Tag Team Thursday, I was able to catch some of the replays from the guys. I heard Brandon from Comixkings really held it down and closed it out, which is great. So yeah, I'll definitely be back this Thursday. But I thought that I would go live today to talk a little bit about kind of some of the books that I normally talk about on Thursday, which is mainly new comics. I talk about the books I just got from Wednesday, and I like to just, because I dive into reading those right away. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the ones I really liked, where I enjoyed, what I recommend, and then, a few weaker titles that I might be jumping off of soon. So I figure the best way to go about this, though, is to bring somebody on with me to have these fun conversations. So I wanted to, I reached out to Chamorro Cinema, aka Manny. He was able to jump on board with me. So let me bring him in as well. Manny, what's going on?
For day station, Justin. How you doing, my brother?
Station, brother. Station. Yeah, man. Doing good, man. Doing good. I appreciate you taking some time to jump on the channel, man.
Dude, I'm just excited you reached out, man. I've been wanting to talk with you about books forever, bro. So I can't wait to jump into it.
For real, man. For real. That's another thing. Because you reached out. First of all, thank you so much for the nice graphic, all the graphics that you've been doing. But the one you just hit me up with today or this morning with me and Bueller, I love that you do that kind of stuff, and I appreciate that stuff because it's such a community thing to do. And obviously, you're shouting me out, so I thank you for that, for you taking the time to put that together.
Dude, it's the least I could do for all the content you guys give, man. You guys do amazing stuff, and it's educational and fun, dude. Like the Omni X-Men book, or the going through the Omni with John, and last week with Brandon and everyone else you've had on there, man. That I learned so much from that because I haven't read those books yet. So yeah, I love that stuff. Just the least I can do.
That's awesome, man. I really appreciate it. And like I said, I see you doing it for a lot of great people in the community. So I want to just take a moment to let everybody know who's here in the chat right now. If you're watching the replay, make sure you're hitting up Chamorro Cinema. I put the information in the description below. Both your YouTube channel, because I know you're putting a lot of great YouTube content out there, and you've been doing a lot of stuff on Instagram. So, keep doing your thing, bro, with that. I really do appreciate the content you put out as well. And that's what I was going to say before when I mentioned Comic Collector Origins. Is I got to get you on Comic Collector Origins at some point, because I'd love to hear your background and kind of how you dove into this. So I'll have to hit you up after this and see what we can put on a calendar.
Definitely.
Cool, man. So we have about 8 people in here at the moment, and real quick, I'm just going to change this because it's a little less loud, this background here. And I should say, the other reason that I wanted to jump live here and do it, especially doing it on a Sunday, earlier on a Sunday, usually I'm on a little later. I am very excited to share that I upgraded my StreamYard account right away. So yeah, man, got the little logo. Yeah, background, and we got some clips that I added in right before the show. So I got a couple, some funny ones we can have a good laugh at, and I'll bring those up in just a sec. But I just figured it was time. I figured it was time. I put so much time and effort. My girlfriend made the good point. I put so much time and effort into this, into being on YouTube, into the content and doing the shows and talking with people and just being on. She's like, why wouldn't you invest in just having some of those nicer upgrades? So I was like, you know what, I think you're right, and it's really not that bad either, at least for the middle tier. So so we're gonna have some fun with some clips in the future, man. I'm gonna have some. I got some great ideas. I got some embarrassing moments. I got some
It's that's awesome. That's what me and my wife were hiking yesterday, and I tripped over a stick, and she was like, dude, I need a camera for when these things happen, just so I can have my own show where it's just you tripping on stuff or
running into things. And yeah. Like a blooper reel, like a lifelong blooper reel.
Exactly.
So very excited for that. Let me do my spiel. Of course, hit this thumbs up if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I've been seeing some new faces, so appreciate everybody who's been checking out the content. Really do appreciate y'all taking the time to do so. And then, like I said, follow Manny. Put the link in the description below. Let's say a quick hello to the chat because I see some people hanging. We got about 14 people hanging out with us here today on this nice Sunday. And not so nice. It just stopped raining by me, but it's a little cold still. So let's see, Manny hanging out, man, doing two things at once. My man doing two things at once, man. I love it. We got my man Nick Station, brother. What's going on, Nick? Loving all the content Nick's been putting out, man. He's been killing it. It's been great, man.
He just hit 100 today.
Oh, he did. Oh, man, congratulations, man. Nick. Yeah. Congrats, man. I feel like I saw a video just uploaded recently. I forget what it was, but I have to go back and catch the replay for it.
Dude, he's got so much stuff he's dropping. It's all like how to navigate comic book stores, how to find out what books are upcoming. Like, it's a lot of really cool for like new collectors. I love his stuff.
Perfect, man. That is perfect. I love the idea of that stuff. That, hey, we're getting new collectors coming in all the time because of these TV shows, these movies, what Marvel's doing, the independent books that are getting picked up. Like, so it's great to know that new people are coming in, and that there's people out there putting content to help those people.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm all about that. We got my man Brandon Comixkings in the house. He was the replacement closer for me from Tag Team Thursday, and I heard you did a great job. I still have to go back and catch that replay later today. But that man I thought I had energy. That guy right there has energy. So I can't, I can't compare to that. But he did a great job. He always does a great job. So appreciate you stopping in, man. We got Comic Book Therapy just subbed up for that's to the Island Boy Station. Awesome, good stuff, man. Absolutely. We got Alonzo from Team Nerd Herd hanging out here with us from the West Coast. What's going on, Alonzo? Thanks for stopping in. Yes, Sunday Fun Day for sure. Let's see. Scrolling down, we also got my girl Sheena in the house. What's going on, Sheena? Station. Very cool. Appreciate you stopping in. I think I know the chat's gonna jump on me on any second. Mrs. Chamorro in the house. Hello. I just had my girlfriend had just created a YouTube account, like just so that she could be in chats and not have like her personal name be up or whatever. So soon you guys are gonna be seeing a Lady No Good in the chats.
My wife was like back and forth. She's like, because Lady Sith. Lady Sith Lordly. Yeah. She's like, well, Lady Chamorro, Queen Chamorro, and my wife is a very beautiful Caucasian lady. She's like, I don't know, is Queen Chamorro kind of like because I'm not really Chamorro? Is like I was like, just do you. So she settled on Mrs. Chamorro, but it was a whole thing. Then I noticed like Rockin' Robbie's girlfriend changed her name to like Robbie's girlfriend. Like, it's just like it's becoming this thing. My wife's gonna start a support group for the YouTube widows for all of us that are on streams all day long.
I love that. I love it, and I love the little avatar that she has going on there.
Yeah, I drew that up.
You put that together? That's awesome, man. The man of many talents. I love it, man. That's very cool. So Lindsay, I think she just took a picture of Stray Dogs, like one of the covers or one of the interiors. So she's been loving that book. She doesn't read a lot of comics, but that's one that she's loving. So I was like, just use that as your your thumbnail or whatever. It's all good.
Oh yeah.
So for sure. I need more space. Yeah, I need more space. Talk about that. We got my man Fable in the house station, bro. Yeah. Good to see you, Fable.
Oh, his newest beat, not to jump in, Justin, but his newest beat, Brilliance.
Man. Did that just come out? He just dropped that like a couple days ago, or is that something today?
Last night. He dropped it. It's got a really cool like generational stop the violence type message. I loved it, man. Y'all need to check that out. It's so good.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Fable's my man. When he's making beats, I'll take some of his beats and put them in the background while I'm reading my DC books. I tell him, he knows.
I feel like Superman gets me pumped all the time, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. Nice. We got Legion of Comics in the house as well. What's going on, Legion? Good to see you, man. Let's see, scrolling through here, we got James Phelps. Thanks for stopping in. I saw James yesterday when I was hanging out with Bueller, Comics with Bueller. So thanks for hanging out. A lot of you here I saw from yesterday. So appreciate all you guys kind of swinging by the channel. Yesterday was a really, really fun time talking with Comics with Bueller. God, I have to say he is one of the most humble people I've met in this hobby, and just such a genuine guy.
Love that guy.
Yeah, it was great. If you guys missed it, make sure you check that out. We did change the time to work with his schedule, so it wasn't at the normal 2 o'clock. Clock. I had a couple people hit me up about that, saying, "Where the heck am I?" But we had to bump it to 6, so it worked out. We ended up still having a good 25, 30 people hanging out with us. So I'm always curious about that because I know different times of the day, people are in different locations. Sometimes certain times don't work for others, but
yeah.
All right, let's see. I think we're getting through everybody here for the moment. At least we got Missing Link. What's up, Missing Link? Thanks for stopping in, bro. And we also got Comics Are Great. How's it going? It's going good, man. It's going good. Just hanging out here with Chamorro. Gonna talk some new comics in a little bit. Show off some funny clips in a bit. I'm very excited about the clips. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but I just saw Eric and I just missed him. My bad. We got CapN Comics in the house. Ahoy. Thanks for stopping in. We got Darth, Timo. Hello. Man, I don't know where Eric just went. I saw you before, Eric. I recognize you here, brother. Flash by Night also in the house. I always like to try to get everybody at least right off the bat. Appreciate all you guys taking the time here. So we'll be back and forth in the chat, but so let's just kick this off. So the thing I wanted to kind of hang out and talk about, and this is just a casual conversation, as I was just telling you, Manny, as I missed Tag Team Thursday, I just wanted to talk about some of the books that I normally would have talked about. So the first book I want to talk about is Nightwing 79.
Oh, that was so good,
dude.
So good.
There it is. Hold that book up for a sec. That's just
loved it.
So I love the cover too. That artwork, man.
Oh, dude, that color, man.
Yeah.
That pink just sets that blue off.
Yeah. What's his name? Redondo or
Redondo? Yeah.
Redondo.
Yeah.
So I'm not very familiar with his work up until just some of this stuff, but I love it. I'm digging it.
I love how bold it is. I like that the line works minimal and the colors are they're just solid areas of color. There's no muddiness in this book. It's just beautiful. Yeah,
I think some of the vibes remind me of Russell Dauterman to a degree. The strong lines that they use on the characters for some of it, anyways. I don't know. He for some reason he kind of comes to mind, but this story has just been awesome so far. I know it's early. I know it's only been 2 issues technically from when Tom Taylor and shout out to Tom Taylor because he's just been incredible. I know it's early, but I just am loving these issues, and there's not many books that I actually go back and reread again in the same week that they come out. Usually I'm just like hammering through and I move on. And even if I like it, for the most part, I'm still just kind of hammering through looking for the next thing. But this Nightwing is a book that I have reread both issues multiple times so far.
Oh yeah, dude, 78. If I just need a good cry, man, dude, gosh, that
you're telling me, man,
so good, so good.
Oh my gosh, I can't shut up about 78, man. I'm sure people are gonna start teasing me about it sooner or later because I was on like 2 different shows. I was on Sith Lordly and Comic Book Canon this past week, 2 different like guest shows, and I think I brought that book up on both of those channels. And I just remember Copy 801 being like, "Yep, knew he was going to talk about that book again." Like I can't even, it's so good, man.
And Brandon's gonna have to hook you up with one of them Nightwing shirts like he was wearing on Thursday. Dude,
oh, did he have one on Thursday?
He did. He did, dude.
I gotta get on that rewind, man.
Dude, Bearded just did a short on this one.
Oh, he did.
He was like, because he, spoilers, not spoilers, but Nightwing eats some pizza in this issue, and so Bearded just made a short where he was eating pizza the same way as they drew Nightwing eating pizza. Oh, he's holding it all goofy and shit. It was hilarious. It's hilarious.
Comics Are Great says Redondo's covers for 78 and 79 are fantastic. Yeah, absolutely agree. I actually would rather own, we were talking about this behind stage a little bit, but I do like to buy doubles of something that if I really like the book, really like the story, I'll grab a double of some stuff. And I actually prefer to grab 2 cover A's of this issue of this series so far than the cover B. A lot of times I'll try to split it both. The cover B's are okay. I'm not crazy about them, but the cover A's I just think are perfect.
Oh yeah,
that cover A for the 78 was beautiful.
Love them.
So yeah, and I always say 78. I've never teared up to a comic book before. That was the first time where I legitimately was like, yeah, it was heavy, or just a heavy moment. And it depends too with like your experience with life, right? Like you think about whether it's you're looking at it at a standpoint of your a father or a father figure that's in your life. If you look at it in that standpoint of like they're telling you that, like that's kind of how I placed it with my grandfather type thing, or also if you have kids and these are things you want to say to your kids and leave it in that sense. So that 78 is a deep, just a deep, that whole, Alfred reading section was just a very deep moment.
Well, especially like the first few pages, I was like, all right, this is cool. All right, they're gonna beat up that dog or whatever. And then all of a sudden it just goes into this Alfred thing, and I was not emotionally prepared for that. Right. And I was like, oh, dude. Between that and the previous issue of Red and Blue, where the kids carrying Superman, it was like those two things right there. I was like, gosh, it's just a 1-2 gut punch of emotion.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I forgot about the dog part for a second too, because like, yeah, the first part is like bullies, right? It's like a flashback to him being a kid, him and Babs kind of teaming up, and because those bullies were picking on that other person, and then it flashes into the like now, and then they're that guy was like gonna beat up the dog. I was just like, man, this is like so overkill. Like, and to harm an animal obviously is terrible. So it's like you're feeling all these different emotions, right? And then and then you get hit with the Alfred line after that, and you're just like you're all over the place.
Oh man,
so intense. Yeah. So the second issue was fun. I thought it was cool that, or I like the idea that he's struggling, but his struggle is he's trying to just figure out how to be good with what he, and how to help ultimately, right? It's just how to help the people around him with his talents, his skills, and his money. Now that he's got some money, spoilers. So I like that. I don't know. I feel like you kind of want to put yourself in his shoes and like, well, what would I do? What else could you do? What good could you do with that money and with that situation that he's in?
Well, and I feel like DC editorial needs to pay attention to this, because this is the right way to deal with a Nightwing identity crisis, right? Not turn him into Rick Grayson, not turn him into Dickie Boy, not turn him into Talon, not try to make him gritty to match the Titans TV show. Let it be a real life struggle where Dick still gets to be Dick. Dick's always been this more fun-loving, lighthearted a member of the Bat family, and they keep trying to squeeze him into these molds he doesn't fit in. This one works out perfectly, because not only does it harken back to the idea that the safety net, which I really, really love. I love it not only as a metaphor for the social safety net, but also Dick Grayson's past, and the fact that he has to figure out who he is now that he's a billionaire, right? And that is the identity struggle that we should be focused on with Dick. Don't try to make him into some character he's not. We already have Jason Todd. We don't need a gritty Dick. Doesn't sound like what I want to say right now, but that's not, but this is
gritty
right.
Nightwing.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
So love
it. Man. And it's interesting. You bring up a lot of different names and different personalities of how DC has, drawn this character in the past and come up with this character's, characteristics in the past. I am not very familiar with it, just because I'm very new to DC. I know I've talked about this on my channel before, and I'm learning, and I think that's partially why I like this so much, was it was such a perfect, spot to jump in on and be able to you didn't need to know much. You didn't need to know too much about anything. And also that helps me when I want to recommend it to people. That's usually the first question is like, well, it's Nightwing 78, it's Nightwing 79. Do I need to read Nightwing 1 through 77 or whatever? And it's like, well, technically no, like you really don't. You don't really need to follow anything before that either.
No, as long as you have a basic idea of who Nightwing is, and like even just visually what they give it to you, they give you that little backstory without having to tell you anything. I mean, you get to see him as Robin, and then as he goes through all the different iterations eventually to Dick Grayson, like the idea that this is a character who has been clamoring for identity is just there visually. They're showing us, not telling us, and I love it.
Yep. That's a great panel too, by the way. I do like the action, but then also him changing, into his many different costumes that he's had. Very cool. We got Offworld Adam in the house. What is going on, Offworld? Appreciate you. Sheena saying I pre-ordered the hardcover of Squads. Oh yes, so Suicide Squad. It was just mentioned. Brandon was saying Taylor and Redondo did a Darth Maul story. Suicide Squad, both great stuff. That's cool. I didn't. So that's something I might want to dive into at some point, because that's the other thing too. Is these creators are another thing that's inspiring me to want to go back and see what else they've done. Not just focus so much on Nightwing per se. I do want to explore some Nightwing stuff from previous writers, but Tom Taylor stuff in general. I will buy anything that he puts out right now.
Oh yeah, I wrote it down, Brandon. I
There
always
you go.
write down everything y'all tell me. So wifey, you're prepared now. If you see me writing, we're spending some money. Just
Yeah,
so
you
you're
go.
aware.
She's like, oh man. Fable tomorrow bringing it down. Hell yeah. Let's see. I don't know if I saw Jason in the house. What's going on?
Oh,
Station,
yeah.
Jason. What up, brother?
SCG.
Appreciate you stopping in.
I love that guy.
Oh man, Southern Com Geek, he's the man. He's the man. I got a chance to hang out with him on his channel a while back. We talked some X-Men, so that was a good time. So I want to ask you, Manny, what book stands out to you from this week? What is something that you're recommending to others at the moment?
Oh, right now, I'm recommending The Many Deaths of Layla Starr
Ooh, foil.
by our boy Ron V. This book was amazing. It's not what I expected, man. I expected Ron V to deliver us some sort of darkly human tale, right? I wanted something gritty like Black Mamba. I wanted something existential like Swamp Thing, and I thought that's what he was going to give us, and he does, but he does it in a way that's lighthearted and fun. This book is about if the pantheon of Hindu gods were run like a corporation, and death is fired. All right. So the goddess of death, Shiva, is fired. And there's reasons why, which I won't get into, but this story had so much heart and it was funny. I was amazed at how lighthearted it was. It took me somewhere where I know Ron V's the man. I love Ron V. Anyone in the PCP army will tell you how much we love Ron V, but Ron stretched himself in a way I hadn't seen before in terms of the tone and the direction of this book. I loved it. I can't say enough good things about the Memoirs of Layla Starr.
That's awesome. Great to hear, man. I picked that up. I did not read it yet. It's on my list. I ended up buying both that's cover B, right? The foil.
Yeah.
So and that's David Mack, right?
Yep, it is.
Man,
dope cover.
Getting a David Mack cover for a cover B cover price, like that's a steal in my opinion. I love his work, man. So I grabbed that one and I ended up grabbing the cover A as well.
Yep.
And it's on my list. I'll probably read it today. It's I felt a little bit behind on some of my reading, but I've heard good things, and I'm glad to hear as you break it down a bit here that you're enjoying it. You'll be picking up issue 2, I assume.
Oh, most definitely. I actually was a little rude with this one because I went into the LCS and one of the employees was like, "So Manuel, what should I be recommending to people this week?" And I was like, "Well, there's The Many Deaths of Layla Starr dropping," and he picked it up, right? So he had A cover, B cover in his hand, and I knew I wanted the B cover, so I was like, "Soinks!" while he's holding it. I was like, "Oh, sorry, man, didn't mean to jump in, but I want to make sure I get it." So
swipe, yeah, no, you gotta prioritize, man. You gotta get your copy before you start telling other people, man. We got Slim in the house. What's going on, Slim Comics and more?
Sean,
this man just I like to take credit for the fact that he has an Instagram account now, because I have been on multiple streams of his and slowly twisted his arm to recommend. We'll say I recommended that he make a account for Instagram, because it's just like a great platform to be able to talk to people and communicate. And if you need to DM somebody, direct message somebody, it's a lot easier to do. Obviously, you can't do that in YouTube unless you get their email or something. So, Slim, glad that you're on Instagram now. You're killing it already. I see you got like 400 or 500 people. If you guys are not following Slim over on Instagram, make sure you do so. And of course, follow him on YouTube as well, because he's putting out some great content. I like hanging out with him on Monday afternoons. He's usually live.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a good show. And it's a cool dynamic between him and Rob on that show. Like because like Slim is a little bit more reserved, you know what I mean? And like he drives that show. Like he's like, what about this book? You know what I mean? Where like he just keeps the conversation flowing. He's so natural.
Yep.
And dude, I'm pulling up his Sunday Fun Day playlist the next time I'm in Illinois, so I know where to eat, because he eats it. I mean, even Taco Bell, he made that look good. So I'm just saying.
I love it. Keep the content coming, Slim. That's all I gotta say. We got my girl Jennifer in the house. Comics will break your heart. Howdy. Good to see you, Jennifer. Thanks for stopping in. I know Jennifer goes lives on Sundays at times. I don't know if that's something this Sunday or not at 1:00, but I know previous Sundays she was live. But anyways, either way, you guys should be checking out her channel as well.
Definitely.
Let's see. Oh, my man Alstrand's in the house as well. What's going on, Alstrands? All right. So next book I want to talk about, and let me bring. I am completely unprepared because I meant to grab all my books beforehand, but like I was saying, I was a little late running in the house here, so I'm going to show the digital side of things at the moment, and maybe you have a physical copy, Chamorro, of this next one. But let me just load this up here. So next book that I wanted to talk a little bit about and highlight because I enjoyed this first issue was The Girls of Dimension 13.
I didn't pick that one up.
Man,
I love the title though. Love the title.
Yeah, and I'll tell you. Let me bring this up here for a sec. So, this book right here is well. First of all, I bought it because it's Aftershock.
Oh yeah,
anything that Aftershock is doing, I'm on board with. Completely on board with. They have not disappointed me, at least in these past, I guess 3 months that I've really been obsessed with what Aftershock's been putting out. And I do need to go back because I know they've had other great titles out before that. But I do need to go back. They have just been nonstop awesome. Everything that they've been putting out there, I really enjoy. So with that being said, that was the reason I bought this with no questions. Just like, let me pick this, at least get the first issue. And I do recommend that you guys look into or consider buying these first issues from Aftershock, or buying it, or if you're downloading it, Comixology, or however you get it, not just to read, because I think it's worth your time. I do think it's worth your time. So this book here, without getting into too many details, it's about these 4 women who get invited to this special mansion of some sort, and it's by an owner who no one really knows too much about. This woman, she owns this mansion. She had reached out to the other 3 women in person. Like, she's like met up with them. She's explained that she sees something special in them, and that she would like for them to come live at her place, where they provide, they're trying to do other things like go to school and things like that. And then the 4th girl, and I can't think of her name at the moment, she's like the main character. She comes in, but she admits that she never met this woman. She got the invite through the mail, or through messaging through the mail. And so she ends up just taking it because she wanted to go live in the city, and this was her opportunity to do so. So with that being said, the weird butler tells them there's only 2 rules in the house. One rule is you have to take care of their dog when the main lady is not around. And then the other rule is never to go in this locked room, which, of course, when you tell somebody, hey, you just can't go in here, that's the one thing you can't do, we're going in there,
Oh, yeah.
So that is kind of where it opens up essentially. But you find out that these women have some special powers, some special abilities that even they are not fully aware of or understanding why they have what they have. And they start to connect that they all are there for a reason. So I'll kind of leave it at that as the kind of the kickoff. But the artwork's really cool. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to highlight was who the artist was. So writer is Graham Nolan, and Brett Belvins is doing the artwork. So I'm not very familiar with either of them. I don't know. Have you heard of either of those two?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Graham Nolan. You'll find the books that they wrote and be like, oh yeah, I love that guy, but no, I don't remember.
Yeah. We got my man Sith Lordley in the house. Sith, what's going on, brother? This man right here, he inspires me, he's inspired me to want to do this upgrade because he is the king when it comes to funny clips that he always shows off here. So appreciate you, man, stopping in as always. I was just on his channel on Wednesday, hanging out with him and Azor's Tiger. So
Spine Ticks and Team Nerd Herd, both, they deliver like a panel show that is so polished and well put together and planned out. Like it's inspiring, definitely, for like Bad Batchers. When we get together, it's like, dude, we need to get down like they get down. They do it right.
Hell yeah, man. Well said. We got my man Slide It Up 503 Station, brother. Thanks for stopping in. All right. Sorry if I was just scrolling through if I missed anybody else at the moment. I think we are caught up. But yeah, so I do recommend this book if anybody has not picked it up yet. I know Manny mentioned it, so hope you have that on your list now, my brother.
It's on the list right there. So it's like X-Men meets Narnia. I mean, that's everything I need to know. Everything I need to know.
Oh my gosh, that is like see, I've been trying to get better at those quick 1 sentence like 3-4 word descriptions of a book, and you just nailed it right there. I feel like.
But anybody who watches my channel knows keeping anything to 1 or 2 words with me is damn near impossible.
I love it, man. What else you got on over there?
Oh, dude, you know what? I was gonna say haha, but I think I want to spotlight Alien issue 2.
Oh man, that's another one. I forgot that this came out.
Alien issue 2 was really, really dope. Again, it's that father and son dynamic that we saw hinted at in the first book, explored a little bit deeper here. We're digging into the backstory of the human characters, which I think really, really grounds this. I feel like Bryce at Hillbilly Comics and Brandon over at Comixkings, they nailed it when they said Dark Horse had way too many xenomorphs. This is a human story that's wrapped up in the xenomorph saga, and I really, really dig it. The only thing I can say negative on the book is just some of the proportions of the human characters are off. Like it seems like somebody activated NBA Jam Big Head mode every once in a while. like it's just slightly out of proportion. But I do like the color palette they use. It feels like Alien. And one thing that is that LaRocca does amazing is the xenomorph art, man. The actual look of the alpha in this is so freaking amazing. Really digging this book. I know it's kind of everyone is either on the fence or about it, and I think it does come down to do you like Alien or do you like Aliens? Because this is definitely a human horror story in the Alien universe. It's not a bombastic action book. So
right. Damn, man, I really enjoyed the first issue. And that was enough for me to want to continue reading. So I actually just didn't pick it up though. I've been trying to figure out what books I want to buy physically versus buy on Comixology. So that is one of my that's going to be one of my downloads for Comixology. I mainly just because I am getting tighter on room space. Yeah. So I'm trying to be strategic and still be able to get the books and read the books that I want to read. So that was a big part of it.
I buy them in floppy, and then I get them in trade so that I can give the floppies away to people. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so I try to manage it. But like yesterday, I was updating the spreadsheet, and the stack of books I had on my desk was just ridiculous. It took hours and hours to get through. But
oh my goodness, yeah, it's a thing, man. I feel like not enough people talk about the fact that space can literally be an issue. Like it really can be the thing that's like, I mean, people talk about money and how things are expensive and you gotta, budget and stuff like that, which that's a part for sure. But the other side of it, and I've talked to, I was just looking at Jennifer here. I've talked with Jennifer about it, where we're just like, we need to come up with strategies on how we can like make this work. And something you just pointed out too was that I really like was that you give them away, or you're AOKing, or I know some people have done it in like mystery boxes, make it fun and so on and so forth. So I like that idea. I know I've talked to Jennifer about the idea of kind of selling some books, of course at like a reasonable price, less than cover price, most likely. I know John's Comics with Kids, he's done that for that very reason, just because he's just running out of room and, would like to make something back from it and still be able to provide something for someone else at a cheaper rate, which is nice. So
definitely
there are definitely some good ways to go about it. Let me see here. We got, I missed the, Jeff talking about his icon changing now that Falcon and Winter Soldier is over.
That's a good one. That was a good book.
Very cool. His Comixkings says, "Can you send me your backlog of books?" Yeah, I can. I'm still, the other thing I haven't read yet is Witchblood, which came out 2 weeks ago, I think. That was one I wanted to check out, but I'm behind. I'm embarrassed to say I just caught up with Department of Truth actually over the weekend.
And you should be embarrassed, Justin. Goodness gracious.
You're like, I gotta go. It is that I really like that last issue, man, with Alien, the focus of aliens and stuff. So really cool. I have to admit, I was a little pulled away by the issue before this one. And it was I want to say it was more about because of the artwork. It just kind of shook me for what I was used to, and I love Martin Simmons artwork. Absolutely love what he's doing, and the covers he's been putting out are awesome. Those first 5 issues were just perfect. I mean, for what the story is and the vibes that it gives, like it is so. I don't think I was saying this when it was first coming out. I'm like, I don't think they could ever have some other artist do this book. And then issue 6 came out, and I'm like, oh, okay. So
you're absolutely right.
so we're doing this. It's like, so I was not really a fan. And because of that, it was just a harder read for me. I just had a harder time getting through that book, and it almost felt a little more like work than, just enjoying that issue number 6. So I went back, I read it again. I do appreciate, the background that they gave. But I do, if I had to choose one of the weaker issues, issue 6 was, but issue 7 was a nice bounce back. I think it was a good way, even though the artwork was still, it was a different artist again. Than issue 6, but it still wasn't Martin Simmons. But hopefully he'll be back on soon. I know sometimes artists, they jump on and off based on other schedules and things they're doing. But
yeah, dude, like issue 6, I think it's a 1-2 punch of 1. It was super wordy, and then 2, the artwork was a mess, right? It was fine, I guess, but it wasn't Department of Truth level. So it's like. When reading that book was hard because you had to get into the new art, and then you had to get into all of this text. And I was a little unfair about it the first week it came out. Every stream I was on, I was like, I didn't like this. I didn't like this. It was too wordy. But I think it was the same week Ice Cream Man had come out with 23, and that's like a whole page of text in like one picture. So I was like, I probably was a little hypocritical there because I love that book. But it was just getting used to that. And Mark from Legion of Comics, he really kind of pep me up at his week's end that week, just to say, give it another shot, look at it from the religious standpoints, look at it from the philosophical standpoints, and you'll get more out of it. And I gotta say, on the reread, just like you, it was much better, but it still wasn't 1 through 5.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely the weakest, I think, for sure. 1 through 5, gosh, it's just so perfect. Such a great read, which is, I'm glad that came first, obviously, and that something like issue 6 wasn't the kickoff, because people would not be on that book right now.
We don't maybe at issue 2 right now.
We got my man Steve Hip Hops and me in the house representing Team Nerd Herd. What's up, man? Happy Sunday indeed. What else? There was something else. My man Phil is hanging out with us today. Good morning. Thanks for stopping in. Ragin, I said hi to Ragin before, but I'll say hi again. What's up, Rage? Appreciate you stopping in, man. Just skimming through here. So all right, so we had 22 23 people in the house right now hanging out. Appreciate all you guys because of that. And I just wanted to take a random second to show one of my awesome clips off. I have to take a moment to do this. So Chamorro, this one's for you, man. This one's for you, so we'll kick this off.
On your left. On your left.
On my left. Got it. Don't say it. Don't you say it.
On your left.
Come on!
Dude. Oh, that's awesome. Oh,
on your left, brother. On your left.
I know y'all have seen that in the chats, and that's because I always say Justin laps me, man, because he'll read something and then he'll read it digital, and then he'll read the Omni, and I still haven't made a video talking about it once. So man, this cat is always laughing me. Oh, that's awesome, bro.
I had to put that together, man. I love you. You used that whole description. It was like a couple of weeks ago, and you were talking about that. I jumped in one of your chats when you were live when you were live on YouTube, and you're like, yeah, this guy right here is just laughing us when with all these new books that are coming out, and like I'm like, oh, I really like that, and I was like, from now on, I'm just gonna hit him up and just start saying on your left, man. So that was great. And last night I had tagged you in a thing because I had I know we were talking about this before, but they had Endgame on, and it was just that moment where Sam shows up on the left again. I'm like, oh, like look at that, like perfect timing. Let me capture this on video here real quick.
See, so that was me today because I read Layla Starr and you didn't. So today I got to say on your left.
I'll give you that. Dude, man, yeah. So that's fun. Hey, officially my first clip that I just shared. So I'm very excited. So all right, next book I want to talk about here is this right here. You cannot buy physically, because it is only digital at the moment. It is a Comixology original, and it is Snow Angels by Jeff Lemire. Have you seen this? Have you been reading this? Oh, is this issue number 3?
No, I haven't been reading it, but it's going on the Comixology right now.
Dude, so you can only get it on Comixology. I don't do you have the unlimited subscription, or do you just buy, or you have the unlimited?
Oh, of course.
So I think these have been free. I want to say these have been free. I want to say these have been free because it's so new, or at least maybe the first issue you could borrow, and then the other 2 were like a discount. I mean, and they're not, they're less than a real I want to say they're free though. But either way, this is issue number 3. I am loving this book right now. It's Jeff Lemire, who I am a huge fan of with Descender and so many other books that he's been doing. So Jeff Lemire is the man, and then Jock is doing the artwork on the inside. So I felt like that team up right there, you can't beat. It's like perfect. And this book, and I won't get into issue 3, if you haven't read it, I will keep it light, but essentially the overall story arc is that it's about a father and his 2 daughters, and they are out in this, what they call the trench. It's just this never ending trench of winter, snow, snowstorms, ice everywhere. And when they travel, they do it by ice skates. So everywhere they're going, they have ice skates on. The entire floor is all ice. That's how they move around. There's a village that they're a part of. And they kind of just open it up with the idea that there are these rules to the trench. And one of the rules is, the trench always gives. It gives life. It provides for people. The other one is that it's never ending. The trench never ends. And then I think the third rule, something like you can't leave the trench, something like that. So definitely piques your interest with like just curiosity of what this is about. How did they get into this world like that they're in? It's all just frozen over. So they are trying to survive, but it's kind of a normal life thing. And then you also learn that there are these creatures called they're referred to as the snowmen. But they're not like the friendly frosty type snowmen that we think about. They are killers. So there is definitely some violence in this story, some blood, but a really deep story. And I think it's good because again, if you have kids or if you're the kid and you're looking up to your parents, there's a lot of these types of connections. And with the 2 sisters, how they kind of butt heads on some things, but they're trying to be there for each other at the same time and survive together, even though they get frustrated at times with each other. So I think it's all relatable in that sense for anybody, no matter what part you might play in those characters. So.
Dude, that sounds legit. I just borrowed and downloaded. Oh,
Sweet.
They're all 3 available to read.
Are they? They're all free?
Goodness.
Oh,
they
man.
are. They are absolutely free. And I'm glad they're on Comixology, because if they were on Marvel, Disney might try to Elsa that shiz up. But but we're good. We're good.
That's a great point. There's a I was gonna make a letting go joke, but I couldn't come up with one quick enough, so I'm not gonna say it now. We got
just give it like 20 minutes. Just start belting it out about 10 minutes after we're done. No one will know what we're talking about.
I'll put a clip together. I'll put a clip together. We got my man Geek Out with Rosko. What's up, Rosko? Appreciate you stopping in, man.
Mr. Rogan, thank you so much, Seth, for gracing us with your presence, bro. Love you, man.
He's the best, man. He's the best. Let's see. Missing Link said, "Thank you all for contributing and providing one of the best communities around." Heck yeah, elbow cough. Yeah. Let's see. Sheena saying, "Snow Angel is pretty good. Justin has been holding out. I've not been holding out. I swear. When this came out, I made a post about it. Maybe I didn't tag you, Sheena, but it was up, and I talked a little bit about it. But yeah, she said that I've been holding out on a lot of great things. She just discovered Scout's Honor for the first time, so she just started reading that. She's like, "You've been holding out on me. I swear I've been talking about this book. I love that book."
I wrecked my last issue of Scout's Honor. I was doing Lamer Frame, and I laughed and I knocked over my water cup and I spilt it everywhere. And I made some joke about. He's like, "You did not just wreck Scout's Honor." I said, "Scout's Honor wrecked itself with the last issue." And Bearded's like, "I'm telling the writer." So now he's going to hold that as blackmail against me. So,
oh my God. Hysterical. Let's see. There was something else. the chat is just jumping here, but Missing Link said he just read issue 1 last night, or I don't know if he's talking about.
He's talking about You Promised Me Darkness, I think.
Oh,
or
okay.
maybe he's talking about Locust.
Oh, Locust, that's another one. I picked that up, but I didn't read it yet.
I got to go to the cities to get You Promised Me Darkness or the Locust because my shop doesn't carry it.
Damn.
So
Yeah, You Promised Me Darkness, I felt like was somewhat of a hard book to get a hold of, unless you were had the opportunity from specific LCSs. But I've heard a lot of people having a hard time getting that book. I actually pre-ordered. That was one that I pre-ordered, and I don't pre-order often, and I probably should do that more. But luckily, I actually grabbed. I think it was like 5 covers. Grabbed all 5 of those. So,
there's some dope covers too. Gosh,
yeah,
some dope covers.
And I've been hearing mixed things about it. Some people say it's great. Some people say it's weird. That's pretty much the mix. Weird and great are the 2 descriptions I think I've heard ultimately. So enough for me, I think that it's worth it to explore.
That's the same descriptions you hear for I Breathe the Body. Like you ask people about that book, it's like, oh, it's great and it's weird, or I didn't dig it because it's too weird and not great enough. It's fun.
I did not. I missed out on that book. I didn't read it, but or did I miss it? I didn't read it. I know I didn't read it, but you didn't like it, or you?
Oh, I dug it, but I'm just saying, like people, that's like their 2 reactions. It's either great or it's too weird. So
gotcha.
It's gory, man. It's an intense read.
Nice. Let's see. Oh, this is what I was saying. Sith was talking about the cat cover. Yes, for You Promised Me Darkness. I think that's my favorite as well. I think it's like a 1 in 15 or a 1 in 5. It's like something weird for a ratio variant. But yeah, all the covers, really cool stuff. What else you got over there, Chamorro?
I'm gonna throw this up for our boy Comixkings because he keeps saying it in the chat. Way of X.
Oh man,
Way of X. Got the
Scotty
Young right here. I was trying to tell my wife because she's asking me what she should read, and I was like, well, Way of X was pretty good too. I don't know if you know who Nightcrawler is, and she goes, I don't know. I said, well, let me show you a picture, and I held up the cover, and I'm like, oh, that's probably a bad picture. but dude, I dug Way of X. It actually could have gone a little bit further into the internal struggle that Nightcrawler's having with the situation, without getting too spoilery. If anyone's been reading X-Men books for any length of time in recent memory, we know that there's the Resurrection Protocol.
Wait, real quick. So I am not fully caught up.
Oh, okay. Do you know what the Resurrection protocols are?
Nope.
Okay, never mind. Check the book out. If you like Nightcrawler, but more than just for the BAMF. Like you like Nightcrawler because he's got that religious aspect of him that's intriguing and endearing. If you like those types of struggles, you're gonna want to check out Way of X. While it is not a deep dive into the philosophy or religion of Nightcrawler, it's touched upon, and I feel like that's something that's going to be even more in the forefront as issues go forward. So definitely worth your read, worth your money. You owe it to yourself to check out Way of X. You're the X-Men guy. I thought for sure you'd have been like all caught up on Hickman, but you're reading stuff from 60 years ago yet.
It's so backwards for me, man, because I want to be the X-Men guy, and yes, I'm all over the Claremont stuff. But here I am talking about Nightwing as my top book of the week, and it's just like, it's crazy. When I was on what is it, Comic Book Canon, when I was a guest this past Friday, I'm sitting there with a Marvel shirt on. And it literally says Marvel across my chest. And they do a segment where they're like, all right, show off 3 books that you picked up this week from the comic shop, fresh from the comic shop. And we take turns and we show books. None of them were Marvel. I literally showed 2 DC books. That's how opposite it was. So I don't know what's going on right now, but I love my X-Men. I will be back on that stuff soon. I think I'm just overwhelmed because there's just so many titles, and I don't want to miss one of them.
Yeah.
And it's just hard, and it costs a lot of money. So what I was doing was I was letting it fall back to Marvel Unlimited, because from there, at least I already paid for that. It's 3 months late. So I'm like, I'm okay with that. But now I have no excuse because it is already up to, X of Swords is out.
Yeah.
I think it's all available now, and that's where I haven't read yet. So that's what I need to really jump onto next, and that's so that's why it's not. I'm embarrassed, man.
X of Swords is like the best apocalypse book I've ever read. Like definitely you're in for a treat if you can get through like some of the middling issues, like where they're just having the tournament, but beyond that, like the actual story Apocalypse has in that, it's amazing.
Man. Okay. All right. I'm looking for I did read what was the one book I read? Children of the Atom. So I've read, and I know that obviously that takes place, current, but so I read the first 2 issues of that, and I am enjoying it. It's more focused on these newer characters, so I think that was why I felt like I could kind of get into it a little bit, and I wanted to talk X-Men. That was the other thing on my Tag Team Thursday, so I wanted to have something to talk about with X-Men from the new stuff. So that was kind of a part of it. So I did. I mean, I know I just shouldn't read that, right? Not yet. The X of Swords, the one you just showed, the Way of X. I should wait on that.
You could probably still pick it. There's not too many spoilers, but maybe I'm not all caught up either because there's a gazillion X books out there. So I've picked up a lot of like number ones and I've read them, and I like everything. I've liked it since Hickman's taken over. I think I've liked everything except for X-Men Legends. I'm not a huge that one. It's fun, but for some reason, like I thought, it'd be cool to kind of go back to like that X-Men in the 90s type feel.
Yep.
And then I picked up X-Men Legends 1 and 2, and it's like I kind of was hoping I kind of have gotten used to like the serialized like storytelling that Hickman's brought with the other titles. So it's like I just couldn't get into it as much.
Okay. Yeah. I saw those come out. I did read the first one, but I ended up it wasn't enough for me to want to keep buying those. What is it called? It's with Scott. It's the Summer Brothers, right?
Yeah,
it's that whole thing.
Yeah, his other brother. I always buy 1 and 2 because I feel like if I give them away at an AOK, it's always nice to give someone like the first 2 or 3 issues of a book.
Yeah,
so that's why I picked up number 2, but I won't be picking up after that. So.
Dude, that's a great idea. I do like the idea of what you're saying here with, you're picking up some books. It's for yourself. You're reading them. And then either you buy the hard case or whatever, and you end up having these books anyway. So you pass them on to somebody that you might know that might enjoy them. So I really like that. I actually just sent an AOK out to Comic Man Andy not too long ago. And that was kind of my mindset was like, he mentioned a couple books that he missed out on. And one was like Shadecraft. I'm like, oh man, you got to check out Shadecraft. Like he's like, and I remember him saying, he's like, yeah, just, trying to keep a budget and not, certain things he wanted to prioritize, which I understand. But so I was like, let me be the guy to kind of provide that. So, especially how hot that book's been for other reasons, being picked up and all. So, I got a little surprise here. Got a guest here hanging out with us. So let me bring this kid in here real quick. My man, Brandon. What's up, Brandon?
Oh, shit. What's going on?
Look at that t-shirt this guy's got.
Oh, yeah. It's just a cameo,
Yeah. Dude, I'm so glad you're here, bro.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys, for having me.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Just reading, just watching the show. I've been trying to finish this compendium.
Ooh, nice, dude. Oh my gosh, we've been watching the show. We have to watch the newest episode. Me and my girlfriend, we love the show, and I've never read the books. I decided like it seemed cool. I'm just gonna go into it blind. Me and my girlfriend had no idea what it was about. The end of that first episode, we were like, "What did we just watch?" That's a crazy book, and that's all I'll say. But that is it's a really good story. So
you haven't anything yet.
Oh God, I can only imagine, man. I can only imagine.
The compendiums, Comixology had them all on sale. I think each volume was like $17.99 like 2 weeks ago.
That's a good,
I got the first one.
Did you pick it up? Nice.
I did.
Good call.
It's an amazing read, and when you look back, right, even now, it's like I look back at like what I'm on issue 80 or 91, and it's like you achieved so much with a huge cast of characters in just like 92 issues, and it's just phenomenal so far. It's great. I recommend it. I really recommend it.
Nice. So Brandon, I brought you on because I wanted to. You had reached out, and I wanted to get you in here. As I said before, I didn't get to see your Tag Team Thursday live stream yet. I know you had announced some things. There's some cool things you have going on, and of course you had to carry the rest of the way because I wasn't there to close it out. But I heard you did a phenomenal job and I've already talked about you and the energy that you bring. So I do want to ask you, and I don't know if you have something that you want to show or not, but give us one book that maybe we haven't talked about yet that you recommend from this previous Wednesday that you've been reading. From
this previous Wednesday. So Bryce and I did weekly wrap. I'm just trying to pull up the graphic that we had just so I can better talk about it.
Sure.
Of what you guys didn't cover. I think I don't know. This week to me was very meh. It was very like it was like if I were to cut books back, it would be from this week of books. You know, I read Eternals, I read Justice League, and they're both kind of on my cut list right now. Spider-Man should be on my cut list, but it's not because it's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I kind of like to talk about Spider if I can remember everything that happened. I don't have my books here with me; they're back at my other house.
No, that's okay, and you don't have to give spoilers or anything. But just generally speaking, like what do you recommend?
Right now is you're playing off everything that happened in the previous issue where Robbie and Beetle were kidnapped by Madame Mask, who's like Beetle's kind of like idol, and Peter and Boomerang have been kind of collecting those stones and kind of like keeping them from Kingpin. But Boomerang and Robbie don't know who Spider-Man really is. Okay, you also got Tombstone and Joe, who kind of have like that rivalry from Spectacular Spider-Man back in the 80s. They are kind of getting back together because their kids are in a relationship. And it's like a bunch of things happening at once. They're trying to find them. And Spider-Man is teaming up with Tombstone and Joe. And it's like, to me, it's so much going on right now. And then he's still trying to like give Kindred his small moments, teasing the event that's coming. We call it the home stretch. It's like, if I were to compare this, it would be like the Michelini run from back in the 80s. Because like Michelini had a plethora of good artists. He was there for the debut of McFarlane. He was there for the debut of Bagley. But the story was it wasn't as dependent as it was on the art. You know, the art was very heavy. So this is like the same feeling. It's like it's very art focused, and Nick Spencer's like trying to remember the runs that he loved as a kid, or even like when he's ripping off the JMS run. And it's just like he knows the moments that are supposed to happen, except they're getting there and then he misses it, and it just falls short. Right. So it's like you're this close, but no.
Yeah.
Damn.
I didn't pick that up. I stopped picking up Spider-Man books, but definitely I'm hearing good things about these last like 2-3 issues that people have really been digging them again. So maybe I might have to pick them back up.
You can just see the chat saying don't.
I might I might still have to wait on it because I have not actually my reasoning for wanting to wait is because I need to catch up on X-Men. So there you go. That'll be my reason.
The problem is like that Kindred is still there. I mean, I know they can hopefully Sinister War will give us like some closure on the Kindred thing, because to me it's like to hear that they're still trying to give him these moments and that, and it's like it's kind of like when I'm playing with my son upstairs and we're having a good time, but I can still see the diaper bag out the corner of my eyes. I know eventually I'm gonna have to deal with that crap. You know what I mean? Like it's like I really want to. It's a reminder that there are things to come. So hopefully we can Sinister.
I can't relate to that, but I can try my best to imagine what you're describing there. Real quick, I got another person backstage here. Want to bring him in real quick too. First time on the channel, I believe. First time on my channel, and I was just over on his on Wednesday, just talking about him before. So my man Sith Lordly,
what is up, man?
What's up, dude?
A condition of me going on is wearing the sunglasses because I was up till 3 a.m. streaming, and I look like death. So I just popped one of these here. And rocking out with you guys. Justin, what's up? Chamorro, man. Dude. First time. Brandon, yo, man.
First time, bro.
Jewish brothers, right? That's us, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I love it.
You were Jewish until you just said that.
There you go, man. So, hey, thanks for having me on this crazy Sunday morning where I just had coffee and now I'm having beer.
Heck yeah, man. I love it, man. You're rallying there now. This man is rallying. Dude, I sent you the link and I'm like, I know he's up. Yeah, I know he stays up late. So I don't know if he's actually going to take me up on this link, but I'm glad you did, man. I'm glad that you swung in here.
Bro, if you look at the responses, my first response is, oh, man, I'm rotted. I'm so tired. And I was like, Lady Sif was like, you got to go on. I'm like, yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Dude, I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for taking the time, man. Man.
I told my wife, I was like, I got to go on Spine Ticks at some point. I was like, I got to, but it's like a 6-hour commit. It's like him and Hydra. Like it's like 10. It's like 10. You got to be committed to at least 10 hours because you might fall somewhere between that 6 and 10-hour mark there.
You know what's funny is I start the show and I kind of outlast every host. I'm last man standing and the one drinking the most. But we got this Wednesday show, which is like more of like a spotlight on the community. So we had, Justin and Morbius on. Love to have you guys on, Chamorro and Brandon. That'd be a cool opportunity where we can hang out for like an hour and a half.
Oh, definitely.
It is a perfect show. I do feel like, and like you're saying, like the timing of it is perfect. I feel like you hit all, most time zones that can really be able to take time to jump on, whether they're the guests or if they're just in the chat. So, and I felt very welcomed, man. I really loved being on there. You really do focus on the guests that you have on and really try to learn more about them. And, I had a blast, man. I was, who was I saying this to? Oh, I think I was messaging Ian after the show. That was the other cool thing that you had some guest surprises jump on. So Ian, Hood Rat Comics, I had messaged him later and I said, dude, I felt on that show, I felt like I was like Eminem when he was like when I was going through and asking everybody questions as part of my rapid questions that I do on my show. Sith had asked me, he's like, dude, I want you to go around, ask each of us something. I just felt like I was like freestyling off the top of my head. I'm like, yo, what about this? What would you choose for this? And I just felt like such an Eminem like hip hop vibe when I was doing that. It was great.
Bro, you got the headphones, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Dude, you were in your element, man. I said, hey, it's your show. It's your birthday. That's the way that show was. It's your birthday show, man.
Yeah, dude, that was dope, man. It was a lot of fun. I want to highlight the chat here real quick. So before I saw Nigel jump in, want to say quick hello to Nige. Saw him just meeting up with Paul and a bunch of other people. I think 3 Men in the Basement. All those guys are together right now for that show that had just passed. So good to see you, bro. Hope everybody is well. That you got to meet. You was it you, Brandon, that met up with him too?
Yeah, Nigel was like an hour away from me, so
that's right. That was a couple of days ago, right? That was before the weekend. Yeah,
that was
very
awesome.
cool. Yeah, he's been that man travels a lot, so it's cool that he's taking advantage of the different spaces that he's going and meeting up with people. So good stuff. And then who else? I wanted to say a quick hello. Sorry, y'all in the chat. There was a couple things here. Louis had and maybe we'll get back to this in a sec. But Louis Logic said, "I'm new and I emptied my account on mostly current books now. I'm wishing I went after keys. How do you balance? Because FOMO is real as bleep." Yeah, it is definitely, and I'll go back. I want to go back to that because that is definitely something good to kind of bring up here. Was there anything else? Oh, actually, I guess I'm for the most part caught up. Oh, James is in here, Comics for Cheap, hanging out. What's up, James? Appreciate you stopping in. He came on like a rock star. There you go.
More like a hungover rock star.
Hey, most rock stars are hungover.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Sith over here. Yo, Sith, ready for War of the Bounty Hunters, bro.
Yeah, man, that title's gonna go off, man.
Ooh, I saw some of that going on. It looks good.
Yeah,
catch the Bounty Hunters book itself. I gotta do a Justin and do a Marvel Unlimited binge.
Dude, so many variants. Yeah.
Sith, what I know we've talked about a good amount of books here today, just based on Wednesday. But do you have anything that comes to mind for you that you're really enjoying right now that you would recommend to somebody if they were just looking to pick up a book?
Well, I mean, indies, right? I mean, not only are they hot, but they're good. And you guys just rattled off a lot. Last night we were talking about, we always do kind of an indie review for the week. And what I liked was that we were bringing up books that people hadn't heard of. And I like it because of the fact that we want to share that book with other people. Yeah. And we want to get that talent and those publishers recognized so they can continue to put out great content. So there's a book called Lost Angeles by Bliss on Tap Publishing, right?
Look at Manny. Manny's writing it down.
Yeah. Dude, it was totally under the radar, but it's about LA, life in LA in the 80s. And man, I grew up there at that time. So like all the references in the comic were real to life. It was a really authentic book, and not just the glitz and glamour, but all the hardcore nature of LA. So that's one. Another one is Duplicant on Second Sight Publishing. That's the cover with the lady in blue with the lungs, right?
Yep. I've seen that.
That's a dope book, and we're gonna have that right around very soon.
Ooh, nice.
So I would look for that one, and then also Bloom. Bloom is on Hero Tomorrow Comics. It's kind of like a 1969 Woodstock vibe, right? And there's like a kind of a really alluring dancer lady and like a painter who really gets wrapped up with her. And, you know, it ends with some heat, man. And you're like, oh, give me issue 2. But that writer's going to be on Spine Ticks this weekend on Saturday. So, so there's three books right there that I would be checking out that you know, besides Geiger and Nuclear Family and Stray Dogs and all that sort of thing.
Sure. Hell yeah, man. Manny, did you run out of ink? Are you good over there?
No, but I am gonna have to flip the page soon, so y'all gonna see that.
Nice.
Your to-do list or the to-buy list?
Oh yeah, that, and then Steve Hip Hops and Me has got me looking at these 1000toys.com where one figure is like $120, and now I'm trying to figure out which kidney I don't like, left or right. You know,
I'm doing the same, bro. I mean, action figures, comics, cards, it gets expensive.
Oh yeah,
adds up real quick. And that's I think a good kind of jumping on point here for what I wanted to go back to what Louis had asked. Maybe we could touch on that just a little bit, because I mean, it is probably a heavy topic, but just like some of our opinions in general. So yeah, this is what he had brought up, because he was talking about he's new and empty my account on mostly current books, but I'm wishing that I bought keys. How do you balance the two? So how is it that, you know, you buy, because yeah, you see a lot of people, they're showing off key books, they're showing off you know, these expensive, these first appearances, these special events, things like that, but at the same time they're showing off all these new books, and I'm guilty of being one of them. I definitely you know, I have what I consider keys, and then at the same time buying other stuff. So let's just, you know, I'll throw it to each of you. Manny, you want to start with what your thoughts are on this?
Yeah, well, Louis, the main thing I can say to you is collect the stuff that you feel passionate about, man. FOMO is real. It's very easy to hear people talk about books and write them all down and go out and buy them. But the truth is, at the end of the day, man, you got to enjoy what you're reading. You gotta pick the books that speak to you. So if you're gonna go after keys that mean something to you. Do you have a favorite character? Is there a character whose first appearance you want to chase? Is there an old storyline that maybe Justin's talking about when he's going through one of those omnis and you want to get into that? But I'd strongly recommend checking out both DC, Marvel, and Amazon's digital platforms. They all have subscription services which will allow you to get access to some of those older books. And then as far as what's new, man, just keep your ear to the grind, dude. Listen and pick up the publishers that speak to you. Like Justin said earlier, Aftershock Comics, he's picking up everything from them because they've delivered quality every time. Second Sight Publishing, Marvin, Alfred Page, are all putting out really great stuff on that platform. Figure out the publishers you like and dabble and taste. You don't need to get everything. It's not a race, man. We're all here to help each other out. So don't break your leg trying to run a race that ain't really there, homie. So,
dude, well said, Manny. Well said. I echo everything that you're saying there, man, for sure. I love that. Great points. And before I try to steal anything else, I'll send this to Brandon. Brandon, what are your thoughts on this?
This is a conversation I've had with myself like this past month and a half, right? So really, honestly, what Manny said, right? If you're gonna get into key collecting, collect the keys that really speak to you. Don't just like buy a book just to say I have a first appearance of Thanos, but you're not connected to Thanos at all, right? I'm a big fan of you read what you collect. So if you do like get a key, you read a key. I'm right now collecting every Daredevil issue because Daredevil is my favorite, and I've read every single issue of Daredevil. I've read everything from 1 to what Chip Zdarsky's doing now, and I'm just rereading at this point. Some keys are very expensive, so it's about budgeting. Does this key mean more than some books on your pull right now? Okay. Honestly, with books that are coming out this week, I've just been sticking to those personally because I've been really enjoying it, and it helps me do better on my show to be educated and everything going on. And to be honest, like keys are going to be out there right now. I would say put a hold on key collecting because the market is so towards eBay and like selling out there. The prices are jacked up. So once we get more cons going on, that's when I would start going back into key collecting because the prices will average out at that point. There's time for everything. Right now, for me, that's not key collecting, but I can't speak for everybody.
I think that's fair. Very well said, Brandon. Sith, what do you think?
Yeah, first of all, you know, when Manny started speaking, it almost sounded like a self-help show, right? He's all, well, Louis, this, you know, and I was like, man, I'm getting ready to get some advice right here.
Get your own pen and paper to write down some stuff.
You know, yeah, both what Brandon and Manny said, it echoes true. Something else I want to kind of touch on is you guys mentioned like Aftershock, right? have a relationship publisher like that is dope, because Aftershock really, they interact with us in the community, right? They're following some of us, they're commenting. And when the publishers and the writers interact with your posts, it just makes it even more fun to support them. Right. Mm-hmm. So like, I try and get in like Aftershock's YouTube stream, and they highlight our comments, just kind of like how you're doing, Justin. Right. So, that kind of relationship with a new publisher makes it fun to collect new books. Now, that being said, like Brandon said, right, I mean, obviously trying to buy the big keys right now is just crazy because it's all pumped up. You could do things like, decide to collect like secondary keys or whatever. I mean, like I just posted a book today. It's not really a key by any means, but it's Morgan Le Fay, her first after Golden Age appearance in Spider-Woman 2, just because we were talking about it last night, right? And she's a character that there's some talk about, is she going to appear in something? You can get that book for like $8. So, and it's a Bronze Age book. I'm collecting all Bronze Age and silver just because I love it. That's, it doesn't matter what title it is. It has built-in nostalgia for me. I kind of pulled back on buying 10 million new titles. And like Chamorro said, right, I'm just kind of collecting what I like. And that happens to be indies right now, because when you read an indie, it's like watching Netflix, right? It's real. Mm-hmm. There's a real show. There's adult language, adult situations. They're not saying gosh darn, I mean, it's like, it really hits. So I'm really digging the indies. Find what you like, collect that, and get some minor keys at a low price.
Yeah. So many great points you all just made.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, spot on for sure, Sith. And I think that there's something I wanted to highlight here before. Phil said something really interesting here. If you're in it for the money, there are better hobbies. That's something I've always thought about when it comes to, because I hear, look, people can collect how they want to collect, and I have no problem with that. I'll never tell anybody to collect a different way that they prefer. But if you are in it strictly for the money, I just feel like, as Phil's saying here, that there are some other great hobbies that where you really could expand and make more, and probably for a lot less work than what you have to do with doing something like flipping a book, and things like that. So, it's something else to kind of consider. But the big picture too, and Manny, you mentioned it with kind of the marathon. I always think of this being that this is a marathon, that it's not a sprint, that you don't have that obligation. Don't feel like you have the obligation to have to buy these books, these key books, because you don't. I mean, you as you guys are all saying, you just buy what you want to buy. You buy what you enjoy, and you don't want to get stuck with a book. And I think Phil mentioned that earlier too, or I apologize if I'm mixing up the comments, but so if these books do die out, where they're they're not as much as they once were, you invested all this money, that at least you are looking at it and saying, well, at least I like this book. Like Giant Size X-Men 1, I paid a good amount of money for that book. And if that book dropped and went down to being, I don't know, $100 tomorrow, while that, yes, the value of the idea of that would suck. The thing is, I'm never going to sell that book anyways. So it is what it is. And it means something special to me, because it's the first appearance of many great characters that I'm in love with. And so that's what matters. So, that's a great, a thing to consider on top of everything the three of you just said, because I think you all nailed it with everything that you're saying.
Bro, if it dropped to $100, I'm stacking like 50 more of them. You know what I mean? Please drop to $100.
Right.
But yeah, like you said, bro, I mean, I love that book. I've owned it many times. I would have it no matter what the price is.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a question that I like to ask on my Comic Collector Origins show. Is I always say, like, if you could go back in time and buy one book for cover price, literally travel back in time, buy any book you want, but it has to stay in your PC. It's your forever book, the book that you literally will take to the grave with you. No value, doesn't matter the value. What is that book to you? And I think that kind of question can really help you define for yourself, well, what is it that you like? Because now money doesn't matter. Now value is out the window. So if it's just trying to figure out whether it's based on a character or based on a story or based on a writer or an artist, that will help you kind of define and shape for yourself, like, okay, well, what does my heart say? What does my heart lean towards when it comes to a question like that? What are some key things that I would like to own someday, based on the fact that I just genuinely love something about that particular book? So
right behind me.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Hulk 181. Absolutely, man. It's a beauty. We had a lot of great comments in here. That the chat just jumps. I apologize, guys. Rosko saying Aftershock, Scout, AWA, second site, Behemoth are putting out some great stuff. Absolutely, they are. All of them doing a great job. Damn, New Brandon was the man before, but now he drops the DD. That DD is his fave? Question mark. There you go.
Dude, it's embarrassing how much me, Eric, Fable, Steph, TM, we talk about how much we are impressed by Brandon each and every Monday. Like him and Ryan on their show, and now Bryce, like because we hadn't watched too much Bryce before then, and it's like they gives us hope for the new generation of comic collectors, man. It's embarrassing. Like I said, it'll be like you have to scroll up once you get it done singing Brandon's phrases on a Monday night. So,
oh hell yeah, well said.
It's a fun show Mondays and Fridays too.
Yeah. I wanted to also mention, and this is a perfect segue into a new clip that I want to show. And again, Sith, man, you do inspire me with the clips, man. So the other thing too is I think the idea of, and this is going back to Louis, your question, and just generally speaking, when it comes to buying whatever you're buying, that you're sticking to what you want to buy and what you want to explore yourself, is to not feel like you have to follow the crowd. Don't feel like just because you hear rumors of whatever type of, whether it's speculation or even just people telling you what to buy. I mean, I've seen lists, I've seen people put certain things up and go about certain things in a way that you might end up finding yourself buying something that you don't necessarily like or care for. I think that it's important to kind of take a step back and say, okay, like, am I buying this book, especially when it comes to keys? Am I buying this book because I like it, or is it because I just heard 30 other people say you need to pick up this book now, before this happens, or because this just happened, or because of, any type of speculation or things like that. I think it is, it's easy to get caught up in that mindset. And it's good to just kind of take that, pump the brakes for a second and say, well, again, kind of going back to what I said before about finding your heart and what you're leaning towards with that, that keep that in mind and take a step back. And I wanted to say that because it ties into this beautiful clip here that I'm going to play for you guys real quick. So here's a good laugh for all you. Let me bring this up here. There you go.
They want to just join that, crowd and be part of that and say, yeah, you Peach Momoko, yeah, Peach Momoko.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
My man Morb, I gotta give a shout out to Morbius, man. He was going off. He had so much passion. He always has passion about everything he talks about, and that was something he was talking about in that very topic of like the idea of like necessarily just jumping on because other people are doing the same thing. And I enjoy a majority of Peach Momoko stuff, but I know he feels a different way, which is okay. And this was just a perfect clip of his to really catch his expressions on the matter.
Justin, I think that needs to be the intro for our new hip hop song for all of us here.
Maybe.
But Justin, just to piggyback off what you said about speculation and diving into it, everybody speculates. Everybody has like their own saying, like, okay, let's take Falcon and Winter Soldier, for example. No spoilers here, but if you wanted some certain outcome, or let's go back even to WandaVision. If you wanted a certain segue into the mutants or into, here's a spoiler for the end of the show, in Mephisto being there or whether he wasn't there, right? He wasn't. Don't let that ruin your experience from what the show is supposed to actually speak on or what a book is supposed to actually speak on, right? It's cool to say to your buddies, hey, what if this happened, right? But when you start like letting that take over your enjoyment, I kind of find that to be a little bit toxic. So just find what you like. That's like the best advice we can all give you.
Yep, spot on, Brandon. Spot on. I missed, and again, guys, I apologize in the chat. We're having a good time here, and I appreciate everybody that's chiming in. Need Mo, good to see you, Mo. Thanks for stopping in here. He says never pay FOMO prices either. Most new books are only hot for a short period. If you want to get a book, just wait for the hype to die down, and you'll find better prices on said book. Yeah, I mean that's generally speaking is. If you can keep you want to be patient. You definitely want to be patient on that stuff if you can. Obviously I know there are some books that are just like skyrocketing and it does feel like they're just never going to come down. But if that's the case, then, if you missed out on that, look for that next book. Sith, you mentioned it before. There are definitely some keys out there that are very affordable right now. you know, and it just takes time to do the research and do the work and, you know, look into things if that's what you're if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for keys, you know, you got to put some time into that.
Justin, I got a short philosophy on that if you don't mind me sharing.
No, go for it.
So, like, for instance, in the sports card world, right? Everybody's chasing that PSA 10 rookie card, but they're not looking at, say, like the Chrome rare PSA 10 third year card or something that happens to be really low in population. And that card might be a super low price as compared to the rookie card. You take that same kind of principle to comic books, right? Everybody's chasing that super first appearance, but there could be another, you know, like a meetup appearance, or there could be another key, you know, situation or something with that character that everyone's overlooking. And if you like that character and you're just trying to collect it, you can get those for low prices. For me, I'm not really trying to buy and flip. I'm just trying to buy at a low price before, you know, everything takes off. So I kind of look at the full spectrum of comic collecting that way and try and, you know, not buy into the obvious, but kind of look around into other things using that baseball card philosophy.
That's great stuff, Sith.
Thanks, man.
Spot on there.
Amen.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. And that's kind of how I feel too with like the idea of just trying to get in on some, you know, on a book just beforehand. I'm not, you guys know, I mean, I make jokes about it, but I don't sell books. I go in, I've gone into this hobby in the past thinking that I was going to, and I have a seller page. I don't post things. You know, the only reason now, if I'm going to be selling books is to literally make space. That's really been it. You know, or if I get in a pinch, you know, with life happening, but, you know, other than that, I mean, I got my X-Men 1 and my Giant Size X-Men 1, and I personally feel like I'm set for me, for what I like, and for, you know, I mean, sure, there's the Wolverines and there's, you know, other great things out there, but I feel very content with what I have, and I think that's another thing too, is to consider what you already have. I think we don't do that enough sometimes, is to just take a step back and look at what do you own right now that is special to you, or cool, or a key, or something that you want to share with, you know, with other people. Just, you know, if you're getting that FOMO feeling, if you feel like you just see something on screen, someone on YouTube had just shared like, hey, this book just skyrocketed, and if you missed it, you missed it. Like, if you get that like sucky feeling in you about that, then turn around and just look at your own wall and be like, oh, that's right. Like, I have this, I have that. I'm happy I got the books that I do have. I think that's a big, you know, thing to also kind of consider as you're going through this hobby. Some great feedback from all you guys. I really do appreciate it. We're hitting an hour and 20 here. You know, probably going to wrap this up soon. I appreciate everybody that's been hanging out here. I see some great, you know, great comments in the comment section. Everybody taking time to kind of share your thoughts. I do really appreciate that. Phil says do a quick search on eBay under comics 1 in 1,000 and look at all those logo prices. There you go. Again, I know this was a segment more, we were just talking about recommendations, but this was a great, you know, question, Louis. So I appreciate you putting that out there.
Definitely.
And I apologize if I missed anybody else's questions here, but you know, we have 21 people still hanging out with us. Appreciate you all hanging out. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Chamorro's information is down below. I'll also add Sith and Brandon as well in the description later. After this video wraps up. Yeah, man, I'm glad to have you guys on. And Sith, man, this is your first time.
Yeah.
So, you know, thanks for jumping on with this, man, especially you know, after a late night the night before.
Yeah, just, you know, to the chat and the rewind, I'm not wearing sunglasses to be pretentious, man. I'm literally, you know, 5 hours of sleep, totally rotted, hungover. My eyes are going this way and that way, and I don't want to be like ugly on camera, right? So it's just like, it's just to, you know, cover that up, man. I'm really a chill guy. Just
yeah. Sith is just like chilling there, like, yo.
Yeah, now I understand, like the old hip hop gangster rappers, you know, on video, they're wearing these because, you know, that's me on a Sunday, man. I don't do Sunday streams at all. This is the first time, so shout out to you.
Get this slabbed. Get this slabbed.
Yeah,
first Sunday appearance.
Yeah, hell yeah. So yeah, thanks again for being on. Brandon, same with you, man. I'm gonna go back and catch your replay. I know you have a couple different things that you've announced recently, so I'll be sure to you know, go explore some of that stuff, because I Tag Team Thursday, I got to get back into the groove now that I've taken this one break off. So but thanks for closing out for me, bro.
Hey, it was a high ceiling to reach. but I think I broke your record for longest time.
I saw when you put that in the chat later. I'm like, oh snap, this man has gone for a long time.
3 minutes. We were talking about if we could redo Infinite Frontier, like everything from Future State happened, what creative teams would keep, switch, or change, especially because DC dropped their June solicitations and a few more number ones.
Okay. Yeah. Well, good stuff, man. Good stuff. And then also, Manny, of course, thank you, bro, for hanging with me, man. This was a blast having you on here. I know you've been on the channel before, but this was kind of a cool collaboration to be able to do. And, again, as we talked about behind stage, just trying to share the knowledge and the experiences we've had with some great books and saying, hey, like if you're looking for something cool like this, you might like it. So I appreciate you for putting some recommendations together.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, bro. I've like we were saying backstage, man. I'd love to do more with you, man. I love your philosophy, I love your take, and I love talking books. So
I appreciate it, man. I think we'll close this out here with I'll show that one clip one more time, and then we'll close out here. But I only had the two, and I'm like, man, this is gonna be dangerous, man. And Sith, I know now, I see where you're coming from, bro. Where it's like the world it's endless ideas now. I'm just like, oh yeah, so many clip ideas. I could go back.
Created a monster now.
Yeah, I could go back to other people's shows and steal some stuff. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, it's dangerous. So let me throw this one up one more time. This is great. This is for Manny.
On your left. On your left.
On my left. Got it. Don't say it. Don't you say
On your
it.
left.
Come on!
So good. The frustration that you hear in Sam's voice.
Yep.
love it. See it.
Always picture Manny in that. That's so great.
Oh, now I gotta step my game up. Make sure that I'm always a couple books ahead of Justin. I'm gonna ask him every week, what did you read this week?
I read it the day before.
Yeah. Like, oh, you're just reading that now? Oh wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna start taking Wednesdays off from now on.
There you go.
Sure,
Yeah.
I'm ahead of the game.
Just call out sick, man. You just call out sick, and we noticed
They'll
Manny's
still
been
get-
sick every Wednesday.
He'll still get me though. He'll be like, "But did you read the digital as well?"
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't. I still haven't found a copy of Chariot yet. Damn it.
And we got Sith over here. Sith's gonna be like, yeah, well, did you interview the writer? Didn't
Yeah.
think so. You know?
Right now, I'm just sitting here
Too.
saying, how am I functional? You know what I'm saying?
It's like, are we off yet? Did we close out yet?
But yeah,
I think
again,
sunglasses off.
thanks so much for having me, and shout out to the chat, man. Your chat is awesome, and so many great people I also see in our chat. So really appreciate the community.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
Louis was hanging out last night too. So yeah.
Yeah, appreciate all you guys hanging out here, leaving the comments, the different ideas. I'm always open to highlighting and hear what everybody has to say, and that's something I know you guys do the same thing, man. And that's what it's all about, especially with live streaming. It's just like, like they're there to watch it, so it's like let's highlight some stuff and hear what they have to say. And Manny and Brandon, you guys just do the same thing. So it's like, you all just keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep doing what you're doing. All right, y'all. Well, that's it.
Azor's Tiger, man. He just hit the chat.
Oh, did he? Oh, there he is. Eric, what's up, man? Good morning, man. It's 1:30 over here, man. I'm about to catch some of this Yankee game that's about to just kick off. By the way, Sith, you're wearing Dodgers, so I have to fit this in here. But I had first round draft pick for my baseball league, so of course I got to go with my man Mookie Betts. And
definitely.
He's one of my favorites, man. I'm not even a fan per se, but
I was about to say, man, I hope I set my fantasy baseball lineup right. I'm on here and I'm gonna lose.
when you guys are talking, I'm looking down. I'm like, oh, I need to set some things here. So,
exactly.
But all right, y'all. Appreciate everybody. If you're watching the replay, thanks so much for taking that time. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. I will add all these gentlemen's links in the description shortly hereafter. So if you're not already subbed up to them, I highly recommend it. And I'll be back again for Tag Team Thursday, of course. And we got some other things coming up in the works. So until then,